Welcome to USTC360. I'm Ginger Chang. Today we bring you a special report from Honduras. When we last left off, TSG volunteers went to provide relief assistance to the victims. This time around, my teammate Nils Ocant also went to investigate other endemic socioeconomic and environmental issues that's been plaguing Honduras. Welcome, Nils.
Yes, thank you.
Good to have you back.
It's good to be here.
So first off, I understand it was your first time traveling with the U.S. volunteers. How was it seeing the interaction between the U.S. volunteers and the local volunteers?
Well, it was really interesting. They wanted to communicate, all of them. That was the first time they saw each other. Mm-hmm. And the local volunteers, they spoke mostly Spanish, only Spanish. And I was kind of translating them because they wanted to communicate with the US team. And so that was really nice, the way they all wanted to know each other and know what they were doing. Local volunteers wanted to know and to learn from the US team.
So let's go catch up with our local volunteers, where they were located in the south of the country, which was 3 hours away from the capital.
Today, the local volunteers from the village of Las Monjaras are getting ready to welcome the USTC team for 2 days of classes and volunteer training.
We are really proud to be a part of this training program for volunteers, to be a part of the TSG Foundation with our brothers from the USA, Taiwan, and with the engineer Don Jorge, who made this possible in Honduras.
Jorge Chang was the connection between the US team and the local volunteers. For years, he has been helping Honduran people. As the classes begin in the village hall, in a house nearby, some volunteers are cooking for the entire TSG Foundation team.
This is going to be the lunch for today. It's noodles, potatoes, carrots, other vegetables, and cheese. This is something that our brothers from abroad like, and something that we like as well. Something that our cultures have in common.
Mezclando ahí lo que son las culturas.
This is the local coffee. It's called Indian, like us. Coffee from Honduras.
We have been to Macovia for the relief work 4 times already. And there are a few volunteers. They are really interested in TSG. They want to donate their time, their effort. We have been talking about how to recruit more local volunteers for Central America for quite some time already. We just need to get somewhere to start it, and I think Macovia, Honduras, could be a very good starting point.
While the kids are playing outside, their moms are learning the basic rules of how to be a TSG volunteer.
Educando los ricos a ayudar a los pobres. Ayudando a los pobres a darse cuenta de que pueden ayudar a otros.
You guys love TSG.
Porque ustedes le aman a la fundación. ¿Sí o no? Sí.
During lunch, we meet Sandra, who has been involved with TSG since its first mission in Choluteca.
The foundation has helped us when we came to them. They gave us the food we didn't have, and we thank them a lot for this. The winter here in Honduras is the most difficult time of the year. There is no work in the winter time. Life is really tough.
After the classes, she has to take a cab to go home with her daughter and her friends from her barrio, a neighborhood. Sandra lives far away from the center of the village. In her barrio, she knows everyone. Only a few have a job, the others are just trying to survive. After 15 minutes in a taxi, the road ends and she has to walk to her house, like every day. Sandra lives here with her husband and her 3 children, a house with 2 rooms and no running water. She is fighting cancer, and her husband's salary is barely enough to pay for her medicine. The flooding season brings even more challenges to her family.
This wasn't the first time last year. Every year it's been the same for 7 or 8 years. It flooded everywhere. The last time it went all the way up here. That was last year. We tried to put everything we could on the rooftop. When it rains, we can't go anywhere. I think that to be able to have Tzu Chi helping us, we have to help the foundation also. Sometimes it's really difficult. People are asking for help, but we don't have anything ourselves. We can't help them because we don't have the money. We can only help them with our hearts. Financially, we can't. I'm happy because my children are in good health, even if I'm still sick. With the medicine I take, it's okay. 10 pills cost me $8, and I have to take 2 every day for my entire life, at least until I die.
Like the other local Tzu Chi volunteers from Markovia, after the classes, Sandra will go back to her simple daily routine, fighting not only for her own life or for her family's well-being, but for the sake of her entire community.
Welcome back. So Nils, it seems like one of the biggest challenges the Honduran government has is breaking the intergenerational cycle of poverty. And it's also estimated that 60% of the population is living below the national poverty line. When you were there, what else stood out to you?
The first thing you see when you go to the capital, Tegucigalpa, is a lot of people without job, just waiting to get a job, hopefully. And unemployment, poverty, that's really like the main issues the government has to deal with in Honduras. That's why we met with Carlos Sabian, who is an economist from Honduras. He was born and raised in Honduras. He studied mostly in Europe and the United States. So I think we should have a look at this interview with Carlos Sabian.
I've been very troubled with the problems of the world for a very long time. I studied philosophy, law, economics, all sorts of things, trying to figure out what was the field that was most useful to solve the problems of the world. In Honduras, the main problem is poverty. Is the slow rate of economic growth that the country has always had, and off lately, for example, the last 10 years, the rate of economic growth has been 3% annually. For a country as poor as this one, it needs a bare minimum of 8% on a sustained basis so that unemployment will rapidly decrease, because right now it is at about 40% now. That would be a mixture of unemployment and underemployment.
All the people you see here, none of them have a job.
There's nothing here.
There is nothing to do. We wait for jobs. Sometimes someone would come here looking for people to work a day or two, to do construction work or whatever we can do, tiling, doing floor, everything we can find. We are just waiting to do something.
Here we cannot sell. It's not allowed. It's not allowed to work here. That's why I always say if you want to prosper, you have to steal to become a millionaire, so nothing will happen to you. Here in the banks is the power, the money, and the will to keep it. Because here, if you come to work, they will take away your items and put you in jail.
We got the highest homicide rate in the world. 86 homicides for every 100,000 people, especially young men who are unemployed, who went into the drug business, and something went wrong. They grabbed some extra money for whatever, maybe to pay for the bills of their kids, maybe just to party, whatever. And they end up dead when they don't come up with the amount they're supposed to come up. About 15% of the population has illegally immigrated to the United States, Spain, or some other place. 2 days ago, I mean, a young man, a 30-year-old guy with a university degrees in international commerce, he just left for the U.S. illegally. He'd been working for very low pay, and then he got fired, and then his wife was working as a teacher. They're constantly being threatened with extortion from the gangs, or you pay us an amount, or we kill you. And so it's just, people just, you know, so they just say, I gotta leave, I gotta get out of here, no matter how.
Ya si quieren quedar en el poder, no la vuelven a ver. Ya si quieren quedar en el poder, no la vuelven a ver. Tenemos que ver cómo luchamos para poder comer, pues trabajamos. Debemos pensar cómo pagamos casa, agua y luz cuando llegamos.
Of the main issues, poverty is one of them, and the UNWFP has considered Honduras a food deficit country. It's estimated that 1.5 million people face hunger and chronic malnutrition. So Nils, what did you see that was a good representation of this?
Well, we're actually able to go to a place just 20 minutes away from the capital, Tegucigalpa. It's called El Crematorio in Spanish, which means the crematorium. It's the place where they used to burn all the garbage from the city, from the capital. So it just became a trash mountain. And out of this trash mountain, people, families, hundreds of people are living there. Wow. Basically, they're just trying to survive. Yeah. We're able to go there with a soldier from the army because the place is really dangerous. We were not really supposed to talk to anyone because this is a community, they just live together and talk to each other. Usually they don't really talk to anybody else. We were able to talk to one of them. Okay. So let's have a look at this trash mountain in Honduras.
10 miles away from the center of the capital, up a mountain, there is a place the Honduran have heard about, but where most of them have never been. The place where the city's garbage are supposed to be burnt. But for a long time, a very long time, nothing has been burnt. Most of these people live here, in the middle of the trash, with cows, dogs, and vultures. They made small houses out of tarpaulin and tires they found. Most of them don't have identification documents. They don't know any other life. Sometimes, women give birth here. New life that will grow up here and only know this place as home. Margarito Martinez is 76 years old. He has been living here for more years than he can remember.
¿Cómo es esta vida? Esta vida es lamentada, lo digo. Aquí no hay nada, aquí no se consigue nada. Estamos en un equilibrio, pues estamos haciendo carnacha aquí. Yo soy un pedido. Yo me pasó un accidente. ¿Qué? Un accidente tuve. Un carro.
¿Un carro?
Sí.
¿Carro de basura o de...?
Sí, de basura.
¿Plástico para reciclaje, ¿verdad? Sí.
Soy reciclero.
Welcome back. So Nils, healthcare access in Honduras actually depends on your level of income. And even so that the government utilizes NGOs to provide some of the most basic medical services. When you were there, did you encounter maybe some individuals or parts of civil society that's helping address the healthcare inadequacies?
Yes. We went to the public hospital. People come from all over the country because it's free, and if they don't have the money to afford basic care or maybe surgery, they can go there. Surgery is not free, but it's really cheap compared to what it could be in another hospital. We met with a journalist who every day stands in front of the emergency room with his video camera doing a show, and he's trying to raise money for people who can't afford surgery, for example.
Well, I believe the Good Samaritan you're referring to is Richard Kasula.
Yes.
So let's go meet him.
Early in the morning, the university hospital is already crowded. In the middle of the crowd, Richard Kasula is preparing for his daily show, live from the hospital.
A todos los televidentes de Canal 36.
We have this program every day. It's an hour long, and we open the door to the people who come from the suburbs, the poorest parts of the country. Those who are rejected, who come with problems, who cannot afford medicine, who cannot afford transportation or even food.
This is not the first time I have come here. We are poor, and this is the only place where we can get help.
I come here because I don't have money, and this is the only hospital without fees.
Last Saturday, my family got into an accident in which 3 of my relatives died. My brother-in-law and my 2 nephews. One was 2 and the other 14 years old. My sister and my niece are here at the hospital in the orthopedics floor. My niece is suffering from extensive fractures, and this is why I'm asking for help, humanitarian help.
This is something unbelievable. These suffering people are wondering how to resolve the problems of others. Because this is a place where the poor help the poor, people who need, also giving.
I always like to do this. A donation. Give a little. If I could, I would give more.
People here come from all over the country. This is the only hospital that is like this in Honduras. People who can't afford treatment, they go to their local health center, and if their problem is really serious, they are told to come here.
Every day, doctors and their interns accept unique cases. Patients wounded by gunshots, often members of the local gangs, referred to as the Maras. This man was shot in the knee just 10 minutes ago. Right after he entered the emergency room, the police came to interrogate him, identifying him as a member of the Maras by the tattoos he wears. Richard sees this sad spectacle every day. Despite the challenges he faces raising the money, he is constantly inspired by the patients he interviews.
There was a young man who everybody said was going to die. The doctors told his parents not to expect anything because the situation was fatal. I told his dad that he had to hope. He had to give him love and to believe. I told him that we would bring him out of the hospital and he would be able to stand and walk home. And the father told me, "No, I don't believe anymore. He is going to die," the doctors told me. 1 week has passed. I was interviewing other cases, and suddenly, a young man tapped my shoulder. But I was interviewing someone else, so I said, "1 moment, I will talk to you later." And he insisted, so I said, "What's going on? What can I help you with?" He said nothing. "I didn't come to ask for help. You already helped me. I was the young patient dying in the hospital bed, and thank God I'm standing here. And many thanks to you for what you've done."
Richard has many stories just like this one, and he truly believes that giving, even a little, makes a difference and restores hope to those who might have lost it.
Welcome back. So Nils, we just saw someone who got shot in the leg. Well, in the capital city alone, 30 people get killed per day. A lot of it is definitely the gang violence and has in relation to the drug trafficking. So besides the high human cost, what other costs are at stake?
Environmental, probably. In the jungle in Honduras, in the mountains, drug dealers are cutting trees illegally to make their plants, usually plants coming from South America. Land, that's not helping the country.
Well, speaking of this, let's go see some of the major environmental degradation issues Honduras is facing. One of them is the illegal logging, and the other is the pollution of the main lake, Lake Yahoa.
In my point of view, Lake Yahoa only has 8 to 10 years left before it dies. Lake Yahoa is the garbage location for a mine which unloads right into the lake. Approximately 90,000 people live in the area, and their used water goes back into the lake. Hotels as well. Even a fishing company which farms tilapia is polluting the lake. The peasants are polluting with chemicals, the people growing coffee are polluting with chemicals, and there is still more than 100 places where you can buy the fish around the lake. The lake has 20 different pressures that are killing it. We have a joke here, a sad joke, that if you're going to eat a fish at the lake, you would have to eat the lead too. It's a joke and the truth, but people are still going to the lake and eating the fish there.
Here we have many kinds of fish. We have black bass, red tilapia, black tilapia, the dormilan, the guapote, and I think the fishermen over there are fishing not with nets, but line fishing.
Usually I get 15 fish in a day. I try to sell them at the market.
Around the lake, there is a lot of illegal logging. Logging is the reason for the erosion of the ground. That's why we are running out of water, the reason for the drought.
I command the Environmental Protection Forces and the support forces for ecosystem in our country. We have 1,800 soldiers working in our task force, and every year we have a budget of $3 million for the work we are doing. Right now, we are covering 53 protected areas out of the 98 we have in Honduras. The illegal logging can be due to the drug dealers who cut trees to make landing strips for their planes. We also have people chopping trees to sell the wood illegally. It is dangerous work. As soldiers, we are facing people who are logging, people who are selling illegally cut lumber, and people who are destroying the fauna, the animal species. We are facing them, and they are armed. This year, we have captured over 60 of them.
There is a horrific lack of education about the environmental issues in this country. We are only the few people fighting for these problems, and we can't solve the problem because we are only a few.
Out of all the issues we addressed today, all of them are interrelated. So if one of them doesn't improve, the other won't. So lastly, before we go, what was the impression you got from all the people you met?
Even if they don't have a lot, even if they can't afford their house, sometimes their healthcare, they're trying to help. Most of the people we met, they're just trying to do something for the country, for other people, just like this. They're not waiting for anything back. No, they just want to give. And that's really an amazing thing.
It is, and despite the challenges and the dangers in Honduras, it's the positive spirit and energy why our volunteers go back there time and time again. Well, Nils, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And for everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's presentation, and I'll see you next week.